That's fine. Go ahead. You're being ridiculous. You're being absolutely ridiculous right now. You are. You are. There's people dying. Okay. Go ahead and pull that up for me, okay? I'm going to school to be just like you, and I'm glad. Okay. Well, then I hope someday you'll understand why I do what I do. Okay.
Hey guys, the video I have for you today is another one of those frustrating.
Of 33 tag going to be Lincoln, Ida Lincoln, David Edwards, Sam. Yeah, it's probably would be a good idea. Evening. That's proof of insurance. Can you ask me why you pulled me over? Sure, as soon as you give me that driver's license. No, you got to tell me why you pulled me over. No, you're going to give me your driver's license as I'm. Right. Okay.
Alrighty, I am here. We are live. I think someone tell me if I'm not live. Although if I'm not live, you won't know, so you won't be able to tell me. So that's kind of a silly thing to say. Let me get my phone. Turn off all my notifications. Yes, thank you, Jeff. All right, that's done. Got my watch on, so if my wife or anything texts me and tell me I have a booger hanging out my nose, I'll get the message. Oh, I just got a notification that Thoughts of Patrol Officers going live. We are here. I feel special. 35 of you so far. Good times to be had. Julie Gonzalez, I wanted to give you a special shout out because I have noticed that you often or frequently miss the live stream and comment with your own disappointment the next morning. So I'm happy to see you here. Brent, I didn't do it for you. Let's see. Oh, 556 Media or 223 Media, as I like to say. I haven't seen you for the last couple. I was starting to worry. I know you're kind of old and retired and stuff. So I was worried that you might not be with us anymore. Let's see. All right. So I was going to let this go for a minute because, I like to let the room build up a little bit with an annoying video or something like that. And I go upstairs and I get my whiskey and I finish off my coffee, which I didn't even bring my coffee down tonight. I finished it upstairs. But I was talking to my wife and just like to let it build. But then I forgot to play this stupid video that I had queued up for you guys to enjoy while you waited on me to arrive. So I had to run downstairs and I hit play, and then she was just annoying me so much. I thought that I would have to start the stream by commentating with this video. It's an old one. And I know everybody has probably seen it, but you haven't got to hear my take on it, which that's kind of what we're doing today. I'm not going to be, it's not going to be like a responding to comments on my videos so much, but I kind of have a feeling when we watch these videos, what everybody's saying. So I'll be able to kind of address that stuff while we go. And I think what I'm going to do tonight, I think in some of the streams, I want to pick like a theme. One of the themes I want to pick is like homelessness and drug addiction. I think I said that before. I just don't have the right videos lined up. But I'll play like a bunch of videos of that theme and we'll talk about them as we go. Tonight, I don't have the energy to do anything like that. I think what we'll do is I'm just going to go to the body camera channel, search and sort by most viewed. We're just going to watch my most viewed videos and kind of talk our way through them. I thought that should be kind of fun, right? Yes. And some of you guys, like, I don't even understand how to pronounce your name and I feel really bad. But I notice your name all the time. And you can type it out how it's supposed to. I don't understand it, but anyway, because I'm not good at reading. I'm not a good reader. I don't read good. But I love watching videos of idiots humiliate themselves. And I can't can't help myself when it comes to this stuff. Let's see. I think we got everybody's here. Chat is lively. You guys are going too fast for me. I can tell you that already. Why do I think that not giving ID is an option? I don't know. Whew. Don't ask me tough questions yet. I guess this lady kind of said that, didn't she? Where are we? All right, we're going to go back to that point right there. This video, I didn't plan on sharing this video, but it kind of fits into my theme of the week. And it reminds me of one of the videos I put out last week. I was talking about internal affairs. So we're going to talk about some internal affairs type stuff today. That's just kind of the mood I'm in. And actually, that'll put me in a good mood, believe it or not. I was in kind of a salty mood. I can tell you about my day. My day today started crazy. Got to work this morning. There was several runs holding. One run holding on my district was a caller saying that multiple cars had been broken into on their street. That's a run that if it's on your district, you're the one that's going to take that paper regardless. And then I look at the other runs hold on the board and I say, hey, is there anything that needs immediate attention, or should I just go mark on my paper? And you also have to remember, first run out of the sub when nothing is holding is coffee. So typically what I'll do is I'll get in my cruiser, I get logged in everything, I look over at the computer to see what's holding. If there's someone's holding that just needs a report taken, I'll mark on that run. I'll say, hey, mark me on that, I don't know, theft from a vehicle report. And I'll drive to the gas station. I'll get my coffee. And once I have my coffee and I've taken a couple sips, I'll drive over to that person that needs a report, take their info, and then I'll go to a parking lot somewhere and I'll drink my coffee and I'll type up the first report of the day. These are important things when you're a first shift cop. This morning, well, the other thing is sometimes there's things that are more important than reports and you can't just get your coffee first thing. Today was one of those days. I had a call about said that there was a woman. Sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time. 223 Salty. Let me tell you about Salty. After 30 years dealing with people, like it showed in the videos. Yes. Anyway, that when I see Salty, it cracks me up. I'm salty. When I'm not being salty with you guys, it's because I'm using a tremendous amount of restraint. I was thinking about that earlier too, about dropping F-bombs, because I did in a video recently. That's how you kind of know that I'm not thinking, I'm just speaking. That stuff just flows through me when I'm on a tangent. But anyway, today I get my cruiser, I look at the computer, and there's a call with a bunch of reports. And then there was something not on my district, but of priority. And then I noticed on my district of priority, it was a call. It was a woman taking off her clothes and walking into traffic. And the call had been holding for about 30 minutes. So I jump in my car. I drive up to one of the main streets where this call was. As I'm driving there, I get dispatched to something that wasn't on my district. And I say, hey, that's fine, but I'm going to pull up on this other run, or I'm going to clear this one on the way. Because when you get a call about somebody who's high, maybe naked, running around, acting crazy, there's an expiration time on those calls a lot of times, because people who are high and acting crazy don't tend to stay in the same place at the same time or for any period of time. Usually they're crazy and they kind of go someplace else. So I was like, okay, this call has been holding for about 30 minutes. I'm going to drive through the area. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a naked woman trying to jump into traffic. I'm going to get my coffee, and then I'll clear that run and I'll say, hey, radio, you can clear me. There was nobody there. Send me on my paper run. I drove up. Sorry. I drove up through the street and I see a woman walking on the south side of the street. She's walking eastbound. She's got pink pajama bottoms of some sort on her bottoms, and she's got something that she's holding across her chest, and she's walking. And I glanced over as I drive by and I realized she's not wearing a shirt. She's just holding something over her chest. So it's like, well, let me go talk to this woman and see how she's doing. Because another thing that people do is that they exaggerate what's going on. There's people that are maybe topless, maybe in different states of being clothed. And if you talk to them, they're actually okay. They can kind of snap out of it and they'll get on their way. Um, the shirt, it's liberty or death, the grunt style shirt. So I pulled up, well, I pulled a U-turn in the middle of this major street, and I pulled up next to her, I rolled my window down, and I pulled up next to her, and she's walking with this male black. And I thought maybe this guy was kind of taking care of her. And then as I pull up, he looks at me and he kind of looks at her like, it's funny because a cop does a U-turn and pulls directly up to a male black walking alongside the road. Everyone's going to think, dude, that male black is going to think the cops are after him. He like looks at me and he looks at her and he's like, get this woman away from me. So I rolled up next to him. I roll my window down and I was like, hey, hon, you doing all right? And she kind of says something gibberish. I can see she's got scabs all over her face. She's been really picking at herself. And she says something. I'm like, all right, I think we can manage this. And I go, why aren't you wearing a shirt? And she goes, I thought this was a blanket. And then I tried to get her to stop and she just said gibberish and turned away. So I was like, all right, let me get out of the car. So I get out of the car and I walk up to her. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I told her to hang on, don't go anywhere. She just sat down on the curb. All right, we're making progress here. This is going to be easy. Tell her to put the shirt on. She puts the shirt on. And I'm trying to talk to her just to get a feeling for how high is she? Like, is she high, like she's just enjoying herself? Or is she high to the point that I'm going to have to stuff her in a car or call a medic for? She jumps up and starts speaking gibberish. Man, I don't want to. Well, it's kind of a gross story, but she's like, there's a lot going on in her head. And one of the things that she was talking about was blood, and she wanted to show me, and she dropped her pants. And I didn't see what was there because I looked away, and I just said, it's like, no, we're not doing that today. Not that I do that every day, any day, never. It's not what you do. No. But I just told her, hey, pants back up. So she pulls her pants back up and then she starts like walking in circles. I aired for an ambulance. And then the very next thing I did is I reached in my pocket and I start putting gloves on, talking to her, trying to keep her calm as I'm putting my gloves on, just praying that she doesn't take off running. Because there's nothing worse than a high person running and you're like, should I chase this person? Should I not chase this person? And then you chase like this. I mean, this girl was like 5'4", 95 pounds, like tiny drug addict strung out on the street. Because then you chase them, and then if they do kind of resist, and you end up tackling them to the ground, it's gross. It's gross, and then you look like a bully because you're tackling this girl, and I'm like kind of big compared to her. So it's not good. But I got my gloves on, and she's just not making any sense. I ended up going over and grabbing her and I put her in the escort position. I don't know if you guys can see my hands, but you grab them kind of on the wrist right here, and then you put another hand behind their tricep. So you've got them. And that's the escort position. If you need to, you can lock out their arm and you can kind of throw them around. You can do all kinds of stuff. But when I've got you in that escort position, especially if you're relatively small, I've got you. Like, you're not getting away. I can turn you. I can do all kinds of stuff. So I've got her in the escort position, and I'm like, crap, now my hands are tied. I can't get to my walkie. It's not like I'm going to air for help, but just if I needed anything, I've got nobody. So there was this other woman walking along the side of the road, and she's also strung out. I don't know her name, but I know kind of who she is. And she was trying to help me and trying to talk to this girl. It wasn't making a difference. But I ended up looking over. I'm like, hey, can you? And I looked at you. You become very observant when you become a police officer. And I was able to look from where I was from like 15, 20 feet away. I left my car unlocked. So I grabbed I told the other lady while I'm walking, I was like, hey, can you open up my back door for me? So I had like a random prostitute who was walking along the side of the road go over and open the back seat of my car for me. And I've got this girl that's all high on meth trying to take her clothes off. And I'm telling her, hey, it's going to be safer for you in my car. She thought people were after her. That was like part of it. She didn't want to get in the car, but I just kind of nudged her in that direction. She ends up hopping in, and right when I sat her down, I put the seatbelt on her, which has that alarm, and I was like, hey, don't undo this. The alarm's going to go off. She goes, that's okay. I'm an alien. I was like, okay, nice to meet you. I clipped it in, got in the car, and off we go. Yeah, there might be a video of this encounter that makes its way onto the internet at some point in time. Then we get down to the hospital, and mind you, I haven't had my coffee yet. That's probably the most tragic thing about this whole story, is that I had to do this much work without my coffee. So we get down to the hospital, and my buddy was on his way to help, and he private calls my car. So I hit the thing. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he goes, hey, you're already on the way to the hospital. You got this girl in the car. Do you need anything? I told him, it's probably a good idea if you come by, because she's having a really bad trip. So we get down to the hospital. I get out, open the hatch. I'm putting some gloves on. He's walking towards me, and I kind of give him the little, put some gloves on, buddy. Like, this one's going to be fun. So he gloves up. And I told him, I was like, I just have to make sure I have my hands on her. She might try to run from me. So if you can lock my cruiser up for me and then go to the hospital door, enter the code, get me in, we'll be in good shape. So he does that. He goes over to the hospital door. Well, you punch in the code, and I've got her in the escort position, and she's on the way there. She asked me if she could have a, she goes, hey, can I tell you a secret? I used to have a DHL. And I asked her what a DHL was, and she just started laughing. And then a couple moments later, she said, can I have a blueberry waffle? And then when we got there, she started complaining that she had a blue piece of toast stuck in her belly. And then that was like kind of where we're at. So I'm escorting her up to the door. My buddy goes to the keypad. It's like beep, 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 beep. And then the door's like opens this door. And that scared the ever living shit out of her. She started trying to get away from me as if I was murdering her. So I'm holding on to her arm, and she's on the ground. She's got one hand free, and she's got her legs, and she's pushing away. And I'm holding on to her arm. I'm like, come on, we got to go inside. You can do this. Luckily, I was able to kind of turn and get my leg in the hospital door so it wouldn't shut on us. And my buddy, thank God he was there, goes, grabs her other arm. We basically picked her up, walked her in. The nurses love it when you walk in the back door of the ER and they're not expecting you. We were supposed to call ahead, but the hospital's so close to where I work that we get there really, really fast. So this, I think it was a security guy, is putting his gloves on, walking down the hall towards us, and told us what bed to go to. So we walk over the bed, and the nurses are all rolling their eyes. They're like, oh, great. We got a meth patient. Like, they're not excited. We get her on the bed. She's not being super cooperative, not giving us any information. And then, man, the story just keeps getting better. She's like, I gotta poop. So like, I jump out of the room, and I was like, this is your guys' show. The nurses and security guys all make like a tunnel out the door, and they point, and then there's like two other over by the bathroom. They're like, the bathroom's over here, get over here. She jumps off the bed, and I had moved, the doorway is right here. I had positioned myself over here, so I couldn't see what was happening in that room because it was gross. And the back seat of my car smelled so bad when I got her out. I was dry heaving, and I didn't want any more of that. So she like jumps off the bed like an alien, because she already said that she was an alien. And then I hear them all yelling, not on the floor, not on the floor. And then they're like, damn it. And then I could see out of the corner of my eye, she jumped back on the bed, and then they're yelling at her, pull your pants back up. So luckily, she found a trash can, and that's what she used. in the hospital ER bed that she was at. She jumped off the bed, grabbed a trash can, used it, and then just laid naked over the bed, like sideways over the, not like lengthwise of the bed, but like, yeah. And then I took that opportunity to walk down to the doctor that was on staff, who had already seen us when we walked in. I said, "Hey, do you need anything from me?" And they said, "No, we got it from here." And I left. And I got my coffee. And I don't think I had any more like crazy runs after that. The only other run that I had that I remember was I got sent to the hospital on guard duty. And I can't give a lot of details about this one, but the guy ended up getting discharged while we were there, so I got overtime. It was like 4 hours of guard duty, but then he got dispatched or discharged right at the end of my shift, kind of. So it was my responsibility to take him to jail. He had warrants. Yeah. So that was my day to day. Pretty exciting. So now my brain is I'm not even kidding. I was telling 45 minutes ago, I was sitting on the couch thinking, I don't know if I can stream tonight. I don't have the energy. But I think I'm awake now. And now I'm kind of at a spot where I'm just like, man, where the hell do we go from there? I don't know. But so where we're going to go from there is we're going to talk about IA a little bit. I put out a video last week where I mentioned something about how I have an IA complaint about the way I talked to somebody. And it was because I swore at them or in their presence. That was the IA complaint that I had. It's a sustained complaint, which means that I'm found basically guilty, or that I broke a rule by swearing. Now they're just trying to figure out what my punishment is going to be. Most likely it's going to be like a documented corrective counseling where they're just like, hey, don't drop F-bombs on people anymore. It should be something like that, but no big deal. But it was funny in the comments, at least one person like took exception, basically accused me of being a dirty cop because I have an IA complaint. And that I just find hilarious, because people have no idea the frivolity. Is that a word that you guys can understand? Every once in a while I put out a big one. Frivolity, meaning the type of complaints that are so frivolous in nature that get made to internal affairs. Every single complaint I've ever had in internal affairs has been quite frivolous. This is the only one I think that's ever been sustained. The very first one I ever had was I pulled over a car in the middle of the night for driving with no headlights on, and there was a kid laying down across the back seat with the seatbelt across his rib cage. And I remember I just gave the guy a warning, and then I told him, hey, you need to have your kid sit up in the back seat, because if you crash and he's laying that way with the seatbelt that way, it's probably going to kill him. He called in an internal affairs complaint on me for giving him that advice. Trying to think, I don't really generate a lot of internal affairs complaint. Nick, thank you very much for the $5. That is awesome. I didn't realize you were from the South Side. I see your name all the time in the comment section. I didn't realize that's where you're from. So thank you, Nick, for the tip. But yeah, most of my complaints are just kind of silly. This interaction here was also an internal affairs complaint. So just the fact that an officer has a history in internal affairs doesn't mean that they're a bad officer, that they've ever done anything wrong. One of the things that it could mean is that you're an active police officer. If you're in an area where you're going to get dispatched a lot, you're more likely to have internal affairs complaints. Or if you're aggressively fighting crime, that's a concept that we don't really talk about anymore, because it's something that we're not really allowed to do anymore. If you ask police officers across the country, It's not something that's happening right now, aggressive crime fighting. But when you are aggressively fighting crime and trying to find bad guys, you will also generate internal affairs complaints. This particular case, I think he's going to kind of walk us through his reasons for the stop, but this doesn't have a date on it, and I don't have the date, but this was during the major Black Lives Matter riots that were happening in downtown Columbus, either during or shortly thereafter. And this officer was just driving down the road, and this girl drives up next to him and is holding her fist out the window at him with her mask on while she's driving and alone in a car by herself. And she's holding her fist up in this like power fist. And he said to himself, you know what? This girl wants to put on some kind of role in protest. She's trying to get a rise out of me. I'm not going to allow her to do it. So he slows down to let her pass. And that's when she slows down. He'll say the speed here in a little bit, but like 25 or 35 miles an hour on the freeway. And she was basically not allowing him to pass, or, you know, something like that. So he goes ahead. He's like, you know what? You want my attention. You got my attention. Here's your traffic stop. And well, this is how it goes. Oh, let me make this bigger. Make myself smaller. I'm ugly anyway.
Evening. That's proof of insurance.
Will you ask me why you pulled me over?
Sure, so you can give me that driver's license. No, you're going to give me your driver's license as I'm... Okay, I'm giving you a lawful order to provide your driver's license. If you fail to provide it to me, you're going to go to jail tonight. You understand? You are. I'll tell you why I pulled you over, because you wanted to slow down to 29 mile an hour on the interstate. Yeah, when I'm not going to deal with your rolling protest crap, okay?
Are you serious?
So I let the audio catch up because I know it spikes when I pause the video. So right there was the basis of her internal affairs complaint. So I'm going to play this again.
You give me that driver's license. No, you're going to give me your driver's license as I'm... Okay, I'm giving you a lawful order to provide your driver's license. If you fail to provide it to me, you're going to go to jail tonight. You understand? You are. I'll tell you why I pulled you over, because you wanted to slow down to 29 mile an hour on the interstate. Yeah, when I'm not going to deal with your rolling protest crap, okay? Listen.
Yeah, that was it right there. Protest crap. He was sent to internal affairs because after this, she called internal affairs because obviously she... Oh, I need to turn off the banner. Hang on. Nobody's called me out yet. I just got a text from my wife. Let me see if that's what it was. All right. Nope, she sent a video. All right. Notifications back off. Yeah, she did this whole thing to try to generate an IA complaint. And she found a reason. So she called in. I think she kind of fabricated some of what she said, but when they evaluated everything, they came down on the fact that he said protest crap, and they basically said that he was criticizing people for use of their First Amendment, and that's why this internal affairs complaint was sustained. His discipline out of it, I'm pretty sure, was kind of like a I forget what they call it. It's PCA, but it's basically like a verbal reprimand. And they just document, hey, you know, he told this woman he wasn't going to put up with her protest crap. We thought that was inappropriate. So we told him not to do that again. And if he does it again, he'll have some more punishments. Let's see how the rest of it goes.
Yeah, it is. Give me your driver's license. I'm going to ask you one more time, okay? By law, you're required to provide your driver's license. I've explained to you why I'm pulling you over, okay? Because you slowed your vehicle to 29 mile an hour on the interstate. I'm allowed to slow my vehicle in the performance of my duty. Because here's the deal. When I see you want to throw your little fist out the window, okay, that's great. That's great. And I'm also allowed to back off so I don't have to deal with it, okay? But since you chose to continue to slow down to get to the point where you were impeding the vehicle behind you, now you're breaking a traffic law. So at that point, now you're going to get a ticket for it, okay? Now I've explained to you the reason for the stop. Now I'm going to ask you one more time. I need to see your driver's license, and I need to see your proof of insurance, please. Okay, go ahead and do that then. You did slow down traffic. I'm not going to argue this with you, okay? Give me your driver's license, please. This is the last time I'm asking you. If I have to ask you one more time, you're going to be charged.
For what?
Failing to provide your driver's license.
Right here the whole time on your video.
If you're not giving it to me, if I want to read it.
God, I hate people like this. She thinks she's so smart and that she's like getting the upper hand here. Just looks like an absolute freaking fool. And you could see she's like, oh, really? Even though I had my ID right here, like I was giving it to you the whole time. No, like, God, I hate these people.
For it, and you want to pull it away for me? Do you want me to explain to you why you would be charged?
No.
Okay, just because you have it out doing this, that's not the same as providing me your driver's license. No, it's not. Okay, I need to see your proof of insurance too, please. Go ahead and pull. Go right ahead.
I want you to shoot me for pulling out my phone. I'll wait till you run my phone.
Go ahead and give me your proof of insurance, please.
That's on my phone. I don't want you to shoot.
She doesn't want to get shot for trying to pull out her phone. This is another one of those like bullshit things that drives me nuts. And all it does is make you look stupid if you're doing this. So I know there's some people that are not fans of the police and that they think the police are a bunch of racist, bigoted fools. If you subscribe to that belief, when you do this kind of thing, I'm going to tell you to your face that you're an absolute liar because you are not in fear of anything. You're not in fear of being shot by the police. If you were, you wouldn't be antagonizing the police because what you're doing is antagonizing.
I need you to watch me.
Go ahead and give me your proof of insurance, please.
Myself, please. Thank you.
Give me your proof of insurance, please.
It's on my phone.
Okay, pull it up, please. Your phone's right there on your lap. I can see it. Go ahead and pull up your...
I'm grabbing my phone. Nothing else.
That's fine. Go ahead. You're being ridiculous. You're being absolutely ridiculous right now. You are. You are.
There's people dying. Sir.
Okay.
That's not ridiculous.
Go ahead and pull that up for me, okay?
I'm going to school to be just like you, and I'm glad.
Okay. Well, then I hope someday you'll understand why I do what I do. Okay?
You just said it's a protest crap. You said that word for word.
Because I don't want to deal with it. I don't have to deal with it. Not on the interstate. Okay? This isn't the time and place for the interstate. Go ahead and pull that up, and I'll be right back with you.
So annoying. Let me see. We're gonna skip over. I mean, is that good enough for the video? Well, we'll go back to when he approaches her. So when he aired his stop, I think he said something like, "I have some kind of rolling protest out here on the freeway," and the freeway is one of the few places where police officers are allowed to enforce the law anymore. So when the dispatcher heard that, she sent multiple cars. So multiple cars showed up to back him up. And he changed his mind and said, you know what? I'm not going to give her a ticket. I'm just going to give her a warning because she's just trying to martyr herself and send me to IA. And I'm not going to give her the opportunity to try to say that I wrote her a ticket for expressing her First Amendment rights. So I'm going to go up and give her a warning. And that was basically what had just happened. Oh, and he also told the guys, you guys wait back here. I don't want you to get sucked into my IA complaint. He must have forgotten something.
Hey, guys, just hang back here so you don't wind up on a complaint. It ain't worth it.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. Here's what we're going to do.
Smith?
Yep. I'm filming.
Mr. Smith, I think this time she's actually filming.
Mr. Smith, I haven't changed.
You haven't asked for my insurance card.
I did ask for your insurance card.
I had it. You walked away.
Okay.
You want it?
I told you, go pull up your insurance card, and if you let me talk, I'll explain to you. I said, what I said to you before I walked away was, I said, go ahead and pull up your insurance card, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so I'm back with you now, so go ahead and show me your insurance card. Go ahead and show me your insurance card. You wanted to bring it up and make an issue of it, so go ahead and show me your insurance card, please. Okay, you're required to show me your insurance card. Show me your insurance card, please. I've already explained that to you. Go ahead and show me your insurance card, please.
Your video camera doing it?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So that you said that.
Absolutely. Go ahead and show me your insurance card, please.
I do not want one police officer.
I told him to hang back. I don't need them up here.
Walking into my vehicle.
No, I didn't. I told them to stay away from your vehicle. You don't know what you're talking about, okay? How are you going to say what I told them? You have no idea. Go ahead and pull up your... Okay. All right. I need to be able to read it. Okay, so hold it still, please, so I can read it. No, I need to see it. You reading it to me doesn't prove that it's valid, okay?
I know my rights.
Okay, I think you have a concept of what your rights are, but I don't think you fully grasp it, okay? All right, well, what I'm going to show you something. Okay, that's great. I appreciate if you quit calling me baby, okay? I'm not your baby. All right, let's get that clear. All right. So right here. I'm sorry.
You're allowed to kill us. If I just a protest crap, that's what you said on camera, right?
Okay, you want to protest? That's all fine and dandy, but doing it on the interstate is not the place for it. Okay. So anywhere, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You're going to get somebody hurt. All right. Yeah, you are. Okay. I'm going to show you right here. So I'm going to make sure you're clear this because I'm going to be the bigger person tonight. I'm not going to write you the ticket, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you the traffic code right here where it says slow speed, impeding the movement of traffic. When you slow your vehicle down to 29 mile an hour on the freeway, there's also another one which the speed limits, not only is there a maximum speed limit, there's also minimum speed limits on the freeway. But when you're doing 29 mile an hour, you're under those minimum speed limits, okay? So what I'm going to do now tonight is I'm going to give you a warning for your traffic infractions, okay? If you want to protest me, you want to hate me, that's fine. I don't care, okay? I'm still going to come when you call for help, all right? So I want you to know that, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a warning tonight, all right? If you want to protest this, go stand in front of the police station. Go stand down. I don't know. Okay. Well, do it on the
This, some of the stuff I had forgotten about. Oh, and speaking of forgetting about things, Julie, you dropped a tip in the chat. Thank you very much. I notice all of them. I don't always have time, just the way the chat works, but thank you very much. I appreciate when you guys do that for me. What was she just saying? Oh, it's like the entitlement of this generation of morons that think that what they're doing is protesting. He was like, oh, you want to protest? Go do it in front of the police station or city hall or something. And don't do it on the freeway. And she goes, why would I have to do that? I go to school. I don't have time to do it there. It's like, no, you don't just get to, oh, I see a police officer, so I'm going to slow down to 29 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone because this is my opportunity to do that thing. Like, no, you're an idiot. It's not about just stop. Like, it's not about you. Anyway, MC, thank you very much for the tip. I appreciate that a lot. I stopped putting them on the bottom because I got yelled at by people that were tipping me. So I'm just going to do it this way. Nick, you already gave me some money. You don't need to give me any more. Thank you very much. Said nothing makes me more angry than people like this. It's very frustrating. I don't know if angry is the word that I would choose, because if I said that people like that made me angry, that might be held against me in the future. But I do get very frustrated by people that are acting like this. And then Emma, I get a headache from these people as well. All right, let's go. We're going to do what I said we were going to do initially. I'm going to go to, you guys can see my recommended videos. There's some of these that I don't know if these are like live streamable. I thought about doing like a video. The problem is, like, this one here is in my recommended all the time. Body cam footage of Zealand police allegedly racially profiling DoorDash driver has 1.2 million views. I started watching it and it's very innocuous. They get a car driving at a high rate of speed. They ask him to do field sobriety tests, and I believe they let him go. I haven't watched the entire thing, but it's like 28 minutes of sheer boredom. And I don't know if that's something I can edit down into a video, because part of what makes it important for it to be public release is that you get to see everything unedited. And that kind of disproves this guy's case. If I edit it down, kind of takes away the the shebang. At the same time, it's 28 minutes, and if I were to play it and try to talk through parts of it, I think I'd kind of ruin it there too. So I don't know, but yeah, this is my not Instagram feed, my YouTube feed. Brent, thank you very much. You're always there. Sometimes you give me too much as well. I'm probably the worst person in the world about accepting donations. I do appreciate them greatly, but I care about you guys, and I know that your money is important to you. So I urge you to keep as much of it as possible and only give me the scraps that are left over. But I do really appreciate your guys' scraps, and some of them I think are a little bit more than scraps. So I appreciate that even more. Jake, oh, you missed the first little breakdown, but we're still going. Are you guys actually typing like the @ when you do that, or do you click on names and it tags each other? Because I'm looking at it through a different thing. So here's what my original idea was for tonight's stream is I thought I would just go to, if you were paying attention, I went to the channel and I sorted by most viewed videos, and I'm just going to start at the top. We'll watch a couple and I'll kind of talk your way through my thinking on the video and kind of address some of the general comments that usually came out on that kind of video. So that's what we're going to do. Connor, you're pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourself because you're always late for my live streams. I only say that because he's in my Discord and he's cool. You're not super late, like 40 minutes late. Andrew, thank you for your service. I did not do it for you. So I should probably preface this a little bit. If people weren't paying attention to what I clicked on a video of a man who overdoses while on a traffic stop. Now, the fact of the matter is he overdosed prior to the traffic stop. He's overdosing right now in the middle of the road. An officer just happened to be driving down the road and got stuck behind him. I know a lot of backstory about this particular one because I'm friends with this officer. And when I had been doing YouTube for a little while, she's like, oh my gosh, I had one from a couple years ago that would be perfect. So she had a ride along this night, and the ride along was a city employee, somebody from the mayor's office, I believe. And they're coming out to do a ride along, and God knows why. I think she had a positive experience that night, but they went and got some food or something, and they were just trying to drive back down towards their precinct, and she falls in behind this car, and she's like, I've got to do that. Okay, how do I get this Discord? Somebody, Connor, do me a favor and post a link to the Discord in the comments. Also, if you go to the description of my videos, there should be a link to Discord. Discord is an app that has like chat rooms, for lack of a better term. You can go in there and you can talk to each other. You can send each other private messages. Lately, the Discord has been getting a little out of control. We need to make some rules. But right now, it's just kind of a free for all. So, yeah. But I read almost all the comments, and here we are. So here's the video. See, this is the car.
Very expectant and the friend is having a 17A with her boyfriend and is scared, nothing visible, no weapons.
What's going on, man?
So this was also early on when I was I don't know if I'm good at editing videos right now, but I'm much better than I used to be. So I can do better transitions and stuff. But yeah, she's just trying to get down the road. She didn't even pull him over. He pulled into this parking lot. So she just walks up to him to check on him like, dude, are you okay? Because you never know what is going on with these people. I saw that Arcan question. I believe I carry 2 milligram. Yeah, 2 milligram Narcan. Not something I really think about very often. So yeah, so she just walks up to the car, asks him some questions, and here we go.
I was just a bit tired, so I pulled over for a second. Take a nap.
Okay. You haven't been drinking?
No,
No.
I do not.
No drugs?
No. Hold on one moment.
Where do you live?
I'm on the phone.
So, MC, thank you very much again. That's the second time today. I really appreciate that. So one of the top comments on this video was all the people who caught the part where he's on the phone with somebody. He goes, "Hold on, I'm on the phone," and then he puts his phone down. Now, here's a comment that I saw a lot on the video that I wanted to address. Is that everyone's like, "Oh, this officer is so stupid. You can clearly tell that he's high and that he's overdosing right here. She should have known that already. She should have pulled him out of the car." Well, this particular officer has a ton of additional training on how to, what's the word I'm looking for? How to take care of drivers who are under the influence, whatever you call that, intoxicated drivers, however you want to say it. It's like OVI in the state of Ohio, operating a vehicle intoxicated. It's not about knowing what it is. It's about making sure that when you pull one of these people over or you're dealing with one of these people, that the actions you take are going to get you to a conviction. It's not just about recognizing that a person is drunk or high or under the influence. It's about recognizing that that person is drunk, high, or under the influence, as well as getting your paperwork 100% perfect, get everything lined up so that when this goes to court, it's an open and shut. You don't have to worry about a trial. Hopefully they take a plea deal, because if you have to go to trial on one of these things, you're probably going to lose. So that's one thing I want to point out to people. Yes, it's very clear that he's under the influence, that he's intoxicated, that he's high, that he might even be overdosing right this very second. But you can't just rip somebody out of the car, because the second you do that, you lose so many of your options. So yes, she has to talk to him like a regular driver, get his information, go back to the car. Then you kind of put your thoughts together, think about how you're going to approach this situation, come back. And that's when you start your processing your OVI. Tiger Lily, thank you very much. See, also, just because off to bed, it's very late over here in England. I appreciate you staying up to do this. Every time I have a live stream, you're always here. I know it's very late. You can watch the replay. It's not a big deal. I won't think ill of you. I promise. But thanks for swinging by. So here we go. On with the video.
I live over in Galloway.
On Galloway?
In Galloway. Off Galloway Road.
You're having a hard time keeping your eyes open, man. When's the last time you slept?
It's been about a day and a half, 2 days.
Hey,
Yes.
why haven't you slept in a day and a half?
I just have a kid.
You have a kid?
Huh?
You sure you haven't taken any drugs?
Yeah.
Are you lying to me?
In the past.
But not today? You could, hey, you're falling asleep talking to me, man.
I'm falling asleep. I'm just stressed.
Secondhand true color. Now, about 20 minutes ago, neighbor called and said that 3 men like 29 vandalized his truck. In a black and white jacket, and a black gray jacket, no description on the third. They also caught running in the alley between Central and
What? I can't hear you.
Oh, I apologize.
You're what? What? What are you saying to me? I can't hear you.
Talking to me.
Yes, I'm talking to you.
Westchester Boulevard.
Now I can't.
Sunrise Muffler. Drop in long range motion.
Do me a favor, get the keys out of the ignition. Turn your car off. Put the keys on the roof.
On the roof.
Yep. All right, stay put. 194. I'm at West Broad and Maple with a 10-6. Frank King Young 3591. This is on county. Can you can you call and have them send a unit this way?
I totally forgot about that part, but that's something else that's significant is that she was not on her regular jurisdiction. She was on the county's jurisdiction, not the city's jurisdiction. So that might be another reason that, you pull up behind this car, you get some indicators and stuff, but you're like, you know what? This isn't my jurisdiction. This is not going to be my case. I'm going to call one of the county guys over, let them know what I have, and then let them make a decision on how they're going to handle this case. Sometimes they'll go ahead and process it as a drunk driver or an under the influence driver. Sometimes, and this would probably be my thinking on it, if I'm not the officer that's doing the stop, but this was someone that had to get off the road, I might not be looking at criminal charges. I might just be looking at getting this person out of there. Because if you go the criminal charge route, it's probably going to get thrown out anyway, because you're not the original officer with the PC, whatever. Yep, that's what started going on here.
Hey. 194, can you start me a medic as well? He's ODing. Huh? If there's one available.
And that was something, I'm not sure how the audio is for you guys, what you can hear, but the dispatcher said, "Would you like another car?" And she said, "If there's one available." I believe that's what it was, right? Unless it was the medic.
One available.
Hang on.
He's ODing. Huh? If there's one available.
Yeah, she gets on the air and says he's ODing. The dispatcher says, "Would you like another car?" She says, "If there's one available." She already asked for a county car, and when the dispatcher's like, "You want another car?" she's basically saying, "Well, I'm okay, but if there's one clear, go ahead and send it my way." And then she's going back and get her Narcan. This part is riveting to commentate over. So here's another thing. This was a very common comment on the video, is people are saying, well, one, she doesn't care, and two, she's taking her sweet time. There's usually a lot of F words with that. Like, she's taking her sweet effing time. She doesn't care. She's just going to let him die. Like all those other things. I was actually talking to one of my good friends about this today, and people don't realize, for one, this isn't our first time seeing this. Like, we've probably seen this several hundred times. We know how long people have. We know how long it takes an Narcan to react. Like, we know a lot of this stuff. Also, so like, you're not going to get very emotional in this situation. You often might just be like, ho hum, this is the 17th overdose I've seen this week. I'm not going to react that way. Hey, Mike, I know I've missed a couple others, but you just said hi, so I said hi. The other part, when they're saying, "Oh, she's going so slow, she doesn't care. She doesn't care if he dies. She's just blah blah blah." I don't know if you've ever heard the saying that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Meaning, if you are trying to like take apart your Narcan kit and put everything back together and pop the tops off and all that other stuff, if you're going too fast, you drop things on the ground. You're gonna fumble things around. It's better just to, what's the word I'm looking for? Be decisive. Not go too fast. Just keep, this step after this step after this step. Put everything together. Get to work. People always complain that officers are too slow with an Narcan. It's just because they don't freak out. Yeah, it takes an extra, like, if she went as fast she went as fast as she possibly could go, she might have gotten that Narcan together 2 seconds faster. And at the end of the day, that 2 seconds doesn't matter.
Vaginal breathing. All right. I don't know if that's going to work because he's not laying down.
All right, that is something else I want to address. This was in the beginning of the video on the camera. It said it was 2018. I think that was when Narcan was relatively new to the officers of the Columbus Division of Police. And they had not personally used it a lot. They've seen the firefighters use it a bunch of times, but each officer had not administered it a bunch of times themselves. The Narcan that they're doing is nasal, and it goes through this little, I don't have anything to like kind of show you. I have one upstairs, but I'm not going to go get it. It goes through this little foam cup. And that goes into the nose. And when you spray it in, it aerosols and it gets all over the inside of your nose. It's actually absorbed through your nasal passage. It's not going down into your lungs. So by spraying it up there, it's not going to run out, and you don't have to be laying down for it to be effective. When you spray it up there, it's in your nose and it gets stuck in your nose hairs. It's there. She made that comment because she's somewhat nervously talking herself through the situation. People freaked out. We're like, okay, dumbass, then lay him down, blah, blah, blah. He's fine. You can use Narcan that way. It's not going to hurt him.
194, Narcan deployed.
Copy, Narcan deployed.
Gotta get up, buddy. Let's go. Wake up. Get up. I deployed it, but I don't think it works because it just dripped right out his nose. If you want to do it.
One of the other things that you're seeing here is something that the viewers also experience. She just gave him Narcan, and I did not cut away. This was, how long ago was it? We're at 5:20 right now. It was, when did she do
I don't know if
this?
that's going to work because he's not laying down.
Yeah. So 40 seconds had gone by. And when the next officer showed up, he's like, hey, what do you need? And she goes, well, I just gave him Narcan, but I don't think it's working because he's not laying down. 40 seconds isn't enough time. It's not enough time for it to even begin to work. But she might not appear that way, but she's really nervous and she's kind of freaking out because she doesn't want this guy to die. So when the officer shows up, she feels like she gave this guy Narcan 5 minutes ago and it should be working by now. Why is he not alive? I've seen this stuff bring people right back to life. So she tells the next officer, hey, I don't think it's working. So they start to grab another Narcan.
Right out his nose if you want to do another dose. Come on. Let's go. Get up. Up, up, up. Let's wake up, friend. Come on. Let's get up. Talk to me. Come on. You gotta get up.
Yeah, that is good agonal breathing for you guys. Time for a whiskey break. Oh, here's what I'm going to do. Last week, I was told it was too small. It's not a complaint that I get very often in my life, but here we go. I made it a little bit bigger. Tonight's whiskey is Rare Breed. What's the proof on this? It's 116.8 proof. I love Rare Breed. People often discount Wild Turkey products as being cheap or for hillbillies. Wild Turkey bourbons are some of the best on the market, and Rare Breed coming in at like $45 is just as good as a lot of things that are like $65. I'm a big fan of Rare Breed. Yeah, Travis is dropping a lot of knowledge in the chat. This video is 4 years old. So a lot of things have changed in that 4-year period. He's talking about the amount of the dose and how many doses and all that. We're going to see on this video here, they're going to hit him with, I think they hit him with 6 2-milligram doses, if I'm not mistaken, because it's not working and they're freaking out and they just keep pumping him full of Narcan. When the heroin overdoses really started to kick in and fentanyl became like a major street player, that was not uncommon. Even the paramedics would show up and they would hit somebody with a dose, give them like a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, hit them with another one, hit them with another one. They got to the point where if they would give people like 4 or 5 doses, make sure that they can stand up and walk on their own, and then walk them out to the medic and take them to the hospital. They found out now why you cannot overdose somebody on Narcan. It's not necessary to give them that many doses. And the hospitals and the doctors at the ERs and stuff actually were, I don't think complaining is the right word, but they were maybe giving advice that, you know what, give them enough Narcan to get them stable again, and conscious or semi-conscious, and then go ahead and bring them into the hospital. Because a lot of people who were like super Narcaned up, their high was completely gone. They felt like a superhuman again. They would complain with the staff, like fight and argue. When I say fight and argue, I'm not talking about violent. They just want to get out there. They were generally a pain in the ass. So medics now don't give as much Narcan, but they give it a little bit more efficiently. The paramedics don't do the nasal spray anymore as often. They'll just screw like a hypodermic needle onto it and give it intramuscularly. That acts much faster. And then they'll also give them oxygen and start pumping oxygen. That makes a smaller amount of Narcan get into the system faster, and it makes people recover a lot quicker. Their breathing recovers and everything, and then they can kind of get into transport mode. But this guy is still, he's got 1 dose in him. He's doing that agonal breathing, where it's his, I think it's basically his brain function, like your brain stem takes over. You're not doing like, I'm not a medic, but there's that, like, your big brain controls a lot of stuff, but when you're dying, you're just the base of your head, I think, takes over, making sure that your body is functioning. And that's your most basic function, saying, telling your lungs, hey, breathe, make sure you breathe, because you're not running on autopilot anymore.
Come on. I'm going to lean back the seat. Back like that. Yep, come on. Come on. Let's go. Gotta get up, bud. Well. .194, second dose of Narcan deployed.
Okay, so what do we say? The first dose was completed at 4 minutes and 37 seconds into the video. So now we have our second dose, roughly 2 minutes later.
Copy, second dose of Narcan.
Come on, partner, wake up. Wake up.
Oh, another major comment that I saw from people, and it was probably about this time of the video, is they're yelling at her to get that guy out of the car, get him on the ground, start doing CPR. CPR is not necessary. He still has a pulse, still is breathing. Some oxygen would definitely help. But this guy's not small, and it's very difficult to get somebody like him out of that car, especially when you just have 1, maybe 2 officers. There's a good chance that you're going to injure him even more by pulling him out of the car. So I don't know. People need to just chill out for a second and realize that they're not there, and until they're the ones doing this, they just need to shut up. But this is how it goes.
There you go. There you go. Keep breathing.
He was on the phone with his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were driving, just trying to get back to 19, and he's all over the road. He pulled in here. He gave me some story about how he was tired. I don't have his name or anything. No. We've given him 2 doses. Like, not even within the last minute.
Just wait like another 2 minutes. He reacted to the second dose. We got a little bit of the last one here. Which nostril did you guys use?
We do both. We split half and half.
Oh, they still count. Wake up, buddy.
Yep. So there's the 3rd dose. I think they're 2 milligrams each. We'll confirm it when the medics show up, because they actually say something in the video. But we're up to 6 milligrams in 4 minutes. And like Travis was saying, sometimes it could take 5 minutes. So they've given him 3 doses, and this is where the general population is freaking out. He probably has enough Narcan in him now that he'll be fine. But the medics are going to show up, and they're going to give him some more as well. This guy is a deputy. We're on his jurisdiction. So this is kind of going to be his show after this. But the CPD officer ends up taking care of everything, because an OVI she charges him with operating a vehicle intoxicated, because obviously he's under the influence of drugs. Also, the car he was driving was stolen. He stole it from his mom. I don't know if that made it into the video or not, but that is one of the facts. So those are all state charges. Even if you're not in your jurisdiction, if you're charged under the state code, you're good to go.
He told me he hadn't taken anything when I initially walked up, but I knew immediately. He couldn't talk. He was falling asleep talking to me. He was all over the road, which is why we pulled over. He'd have died, yeah.
81.
Yeah, no shit.
This was run. 80. Coming.
Yeah, got a couple candy cards out here with this, got a 3rd dose of Narcan.
Copy, 3rd dose of Narcan.
All right. See, that's one of the edits that I don't know, I'm getting better at. But so they must have waited quite some time. Now the medics are starting to show up on scene. I need to say hi to a couple people. Evie, first time you caught it live. Thank you very much. Good to see you. I'm glad you were able to make it today. And there was another one. I'm trying to scroll the chat, but when I scroll up, you guys talk and it goes back down. I missed it. It was another female name, but you said it was your first time ever making a live stream. Thanks for coming. I do appreciate it. I don't know. The live streams are like my favorite thing to do. There's times where I want to say we'll talk about it, but there might be some weeks where just, it's summertime. I've got Fridays and Saturdays off. I want to do things on Saturdays with my family. I might not put a Thoughts of a Patrol Officer video out. There might be weeks, maybe multiple weeks, where we just do a live stream on Wednesday. So this is my favorite thing to do. It's this thing I don't want to give up on. Just something to kind of keep in mind for everybody. So.
Grab the airway bag, please.
He's had 6 milligrams already.
Hey, buddy.
You gave him 4? Oh, well then he's had 8.
Talk to me. Hey. What's your name, boss?
Well, Florida Man has entered the chat. I felt like that deserved its own introduction. So, Florida Man, welcome to the chat. Let's not have too much Florida. Let's not do too many Florida Man things tonight, okay? Like, let's try to keep it under control, Florida Man. I know that's hard for you, but please do your best.
Did you guys get an ID on him or anything?
Nope, not yet.
2453 West Mount. Caller sees a broken window with glass here. He is just
He opened his
passing
eyes.
by.
See this year. He probably needs this a little bit
This
more.
was on his passenger seat.
So, yeah,
Fantastic.
Hey, bud, can you wake up, talk to me? Hey.
I warned you. I warned you. Oh, he's up.
You do some heroin?
Oh. Ben Fink, I just saw your comment. It reminded me. You asked a question earlier that I thought was a good question that a lot of people don't understand is you asked what's the difference between like a DWI, an OVI, or a DWI, or whatever those things are. There is no difference. The only difference is the name that particular state has put on their law. In Ohio, we used to call it a DUI. No, I think we used to call it a DWI, driving while intoxicated. Then we turned it into DUI, driving under the influence. Now it's OVI, and this is just in the state of Ohio. I don't know what the other states all do, but OVI is operating a vehicle impaired. I think what they're doing is just over the years, they're trying to make the definition more precise, or maybe more all-encompassing. I think that operating a vehicle impaired does a very good job of that, because you might have these like clowns that say, I'm not driving, stuff like that. Well, you're operating a vehicle. That's all that is. And he's awake. We're 10 minutes in the video, but I don't know how much I cut out of him just laying there struggling to breathe.
Rated at 80 for 9082.
6 milligrams of Narcan will woke you up.
Needle sitting right next to 9082 to 80. I'm still making my way over towards you guys. You want me to come to you or to Graham?
You got any wallet or ID, bud?
Graham will be good.
What's your name?
Copy, ready to copy.
Brian? Okay.
100.
How old are you? 23?
T-shirt, my 38.
Regal Cinema is 1800, Georgia Square, see Nicole.
I copy. Do we have location where she's at exactly in the lot or the location?
I gave him
He got 4, and then we carry 2, so I gave him 2, and he gave him 2, so 8.
Negative. I'm doing a call back to her now. Looks like her son sold her debit card while they were in the movie theater here, and also left in her blue on a day lunch. So he had permission to drive that.
It's fine. He needed a lot of it, so.
He sounds like he's on 49A.
That have his name on it?
Where? Right here. Hey, Brian, wake up, bud.
I'm gonna check out this definitely.
Were you a Regal special?
What? Because that drug wears off that we gave you.
Yeah, sorry if I shouted there. What's going on right here? The dude, I don't remember his name, but he's trying to refuse treatment. She was back at the car running him for warrants and all that other stuff. And the medics were talking to him, trying to get him to go to the hospital. And he's sitting there saying, no, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. He has no idea that he just spent the last like 10 or 12 minutes basically dead. And they're trying to argue with him that, hey, this stuff might wear off and all that other stuff. I can tell you back then they argued a lot more than they do now. I gave a guy a ride today that I was following the medic and he decided that he no longer needed medical attention. So they stopped the medic in the middle of the road. He got out and I was able to convince him to get in my car so I could give him a ride somewhere where I made sure he had a responsible party that could watch over him. But technically, if he would just wanted to walk away, he could. It just took a little bit of coercion on my part. Or some people might say I kidnapped him. They're idiots, but it is what it is. Paula Denise, I think that's what your name is. Thank you for being nice to the recovering addict. Paula, thank you very much for the donation. I really appreciate that greatly. You guys are helping me fund taking my wife and kids out to dinner, maybe once or twice a week. I really appreciate that. I sincerely do. Let's see. Let's see how this goes from here. I don't remember if she goes ahead and cuffs him up in this video or not.
You will die. We're not negotiating. You can die.
We're going to the hospital.
100. I just did a callback. I told her to stand out front of the ticket window, and there was special duty there also.
I can't be there, not answering them though.
Are you in a Regal Cinema Special, badge 413?
Right here, partner. Have a seat.
You taking him to doctors?
I'm going to pray the call.
Probably, yeah. There you go. All right, buddy, your legs are going to swing up. You'll stay sitting up, though.
Ryan, what'd you take?
Headquarters at
It's got the
1942.
needle in it.
Black tar heroin?
I'm not able to private call in.
Ryan, what did you take?
I got it.
You got the Narcan you fix up, give it to them.
I moved it back down.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd already screwed it all together. Okay.
And that's basically it. That's very common as well, that you Narcan somebody, they're basically dead. I've seen people way more dead than him. Get Narcan, get brought back, and then they'll argue with you that they didn't take anything, and that's what he was doing. But there's only one way that you come back to life after being Narcan, and that's if you have a bunch of opiates in your system. So it is what it is. Him actually going to the hospital kind of helped out the officer in this case, because she was able to go start doing all her paperwork while somebody else sat in the hospital and watched him. She processed the stolen car, did all the OVI stuff, had all the paperwork for him to sign, and then I think they had to set up guard duty because he was going to be in the hospital for a few hours and someone else had to take him to jail. But it is what it is. I saw, there was one question. I forget how to pronounce your name, but I see you all the time. It starts with an S and a W. You said driving under the influence could also mean extremely tired, or driving impaired could be extremely tired. Probably technically, but realistically, that's not a charge that I think any officer I know is going to do. Maybe if you live in an area where you never have to charge anybody and you got someone that you think is dangerous and you're not going to give them a ride, you can write that charge probably by the law, but it's not going to go anywhere in court. And that's my opinion. Unless it's a small court that never sees cases, which happens sometimes. That's where a lot of these like really off the wall cases come from. In a lot of these situations that get people all spun up about police officers doing the wrong thing. It's just, they don't do that stuff very often. And they're like, oh, this is illegal. According to the law, I can charge this. So they might do that person who's like really tired and charge them as impaired. And they're like, well, being tired is an impairment, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it is, but it's not something I would do. So EVE, I have a question. I've only had one ticket in my entire life. It was speeding 8 over the limit. What is the protocol about stopping once the lights come on? Is it okay to keep going to a safe spot? The answer to that question, I'll put it up, is yes. It's okay to keep driving for a safe spot, but also consider everything else. There's people who will use that and try to abuse it. And you can tell they're kind of full of shit, or they'll be like, well, I didn't know you were a cop and I didn't feel safe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's bullshit. We know it's bullshit. You're just trying to get out of something or whatever. But there's legitimately, like if you're on a freeway and there's no real berms, or it's a construction area, and it's straight 2 lanes with concrete barriers on both sides. You're not getting out of those lanes. Yes, it's okay to drive for a little bit. I would say it's a case-by-case basis. just use common sense. The officer, if it's one of those situations where it's really unsafe to pull over, the officer knows. I did a traffic stop. I don't do a lot of traffic stops anymore, but the ones that stand out are, I did one for a major drug operation. There was a major drug sting in the news recently in Central Ohio, and I did a stop as part of that investigation 6 or 7 months ago. It took me a really long time to catch up with the car. They had a plane car following these people. I knew the person in the car had a warrant, and they had already sped on a city street at least 30 miles an hour over the speed limit. So that was my probable cause for the stop. I get up behind the car. And like I said, it took us a long time for me to catch up to them because they had a plane car following them. And they didn't advise me that they were going to ask for a traffic stop until they were already on the road rolling. So it took me a long time to catch up to them. I ended up pulling the car over on the freeway, and it was kind of a weird spot. They drove probably for a mile and a half before they pulled off the right, but I wasn't concerned about it at all, if that makes any sense. Let's see. This my chat thing is like weird to scroll down. Oh no, I think I just skipped. Donna had a donation, and Zachary Hamilton had a donation. Thank you very much, Zachary. You have been following both channels since inception. You always comment. Thank you very much. Let's see. Blue Pepper, I want to say, first of all, that you've been on your best behavior tonight. You haven't made anybody upset. I like that. We're having a very pleasant conversation. Sometimes people don't understand how he talks, and sometimes he gets on my nerves too, but I know that he means very well. He wants the best for everybody, so I keep him around, and I always appreciate his stance, and I appreciate him attempting to challenge me sometimes. Ooh, there's a sergeant in here. I must have missed it. I love seeing some of the back and forth when you guys, like Sally talking about like Ireland and stuff. I catch all that. And Donna, you said, for your great work, Officer Ben. Well, thank you, Donna. Let's see. Spencer, I missed what happened. Let me go up here. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry if this brings up bad memories for you, Spence. I don't know. We've all kind of been through it. So, especially in this day and age. Well, okay. Let's go. Oh, my medic friend. I'm the worst person in the world with names. Let me scroll up and find it. Was it Travis? Are you the medic? I'm scrolling, but I wanted to, yes, Travis. When the medic showed up, you said the real heroes are on scene. Let's see here. I want to show you something that was in one of my videos. It's one of my very early videos. This video, this one is not 1 million views. I had another video with this same officer that just hit 1 million views. It was the first one of this officer that hit 1 million views, and I was very excited about it. Not this particular video, but I was very proud of this line. So let's be quiet and listen up.
One, I think it says I can. Well, they always send me first. Oh, so that was you. Yep. Here they come.
They send you, then the paramedics come?
Yeah, they got to make sure the area is safe.
Oh, okay.
Firefighters are afraid of this stuff.
I know.
There you go. Oh, and there's the old me. Is it uncanny? Alrighty, enough of that. Oh, he had to leave? Son of a gun. I saved that spot just for him. I was so excited. But there's those times where you get those one-liners in that you never thought in your life you'd have the opportunity to drop. And that was one of those ones that I was just extremely proud of when I got to make fun of firefighters. Because I love the fires and the paramedics, we actually get along great. They know me. They recognize the mustache. They know that I handle these kind of scenes pretty well. So that when they show up, I usually go out and meet them at the truck. And as we're walking towards the building, I give them a heads up on what's going on. It's a little bit of, I don't know. I kind of understand how these things work. Plus my military background, I can triage things pretty well. So I get along with the medics great. I will also make fun of them at every opportunity. So I was very excited about that one. Let's see. There was something. Sometimes the chat goes slow and then it catches up real quick. So I missed some of the chat. But anyway, yeah, I remember that guy, the first narrator. And I had such a crappy microphone. Let's listen to it just for a second. So when the medics left, the officer ended up driving around with the mail, trying to find some place for him to go. Called some friends and family. And he eventually got a hold of somebody that could come pick the guy up. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you learned something. And I will talk to you next time. So another thing is that I worked third shift for about 10 years. And when I was editing these videos, I would be so exhausted sometimes. It's like coming up on 6:37 in the morning. I'm still recording and I don't write a script or anything. I just kind of say whatever the hell I want to say. And you could tell in that one, I was just tired. I was exhausted. I don't think we have time for this entire video because I'm going to pass out. But let's play a little bit of it. This is one of my personal favorite overdoses. Okay. 192, you can send it back in. Oh, and we're going to hear my favorite line again. One of the other things about this particular video is that a lot of people, I said male overdoses on the wrong side of town and officers find a safe place for him. I was amazed at the number of people who took that with some kind of racial undertones. If you know anything about the west side of Columbus, it's very diverse. I don't know if it's more white than black or more black than white, but I do not consider the west side of Columbus to be black. Let's just put it that way. Not predominantly. And when I think of the wrong side of town, I think of someone that is in a neighborhood he doesn't belong. This guy is from a rural community, like a farming type community, and he found himself in the center of the hood overdosing on heroin. That was not the right place for him. That was the wrong side of town. And that's why I titled it that way.
Well, they always send me first. Oh, so that was you. Yep. Here they come.
They send you, then the paramedics come?
Yeah, they got to make sure the area is safe.
Oh, okay.
Firefighters are afraid of this stuff.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I don't know, but it is best practice to have us here. You know what I mean? Just land on the hey, buddy. Hey, what's your name?
Johnny.
Johnny? What'd you take, buddy? What kind of drugs do you use? Well, I know.
Could have been alcohol. What was it?
What's up?
It's the keys to his bike.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Is it a motorcycle or is it locked up?
It's a Yamaha motorcycle. He's got a motorcycle helmet sitting over there. So I don't know where his bike is or nothing, but
okay.
I just took him off of him so no, while he was on the wall, a lot of people was walking by and surrounding him and shit. So I just went over there and grabbed him real quick so nobody took his shit.
Okay, I'll make sure it goes with him.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
But you didn't see the bike anywhere?
No, they said he came down that way.
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking he maybe he wrecked or something.
I'll see if I can find it.
He ain't got no scars on him.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, there was a question I just saw I wanted to address. Who was it? Something with Jitsu in his name. Oh, where'd it go? I'm so bad. I should have highlighted it. Oh, I totally forgot your question. Oh, here you go. Do I watch Lex Friedman? I'm aware of him. I've seen some of his stuff. I don't watch him very religiously. I thought it was a more important question when I saw it the first time. So if you saw initially, the officer goes up to him, asked him for his name. The guy gave a fake name. His name is not Johnny. That's just like, he's so, he's trained himself. He's disciplined himself to the point, or maybe it's just his embarrassment of overdosing on opiates on the west side of town, that his first instinct was to lie, which I mean, it's pretty impressive that in his state of mind, he was able to lie, but he did. And then when the officer was asking him, hey, what kind of drugs do you use and all that, and the people were saying, looks like heroin. A lot of times the officer will already know exactly what's going on, but you're just trying to get the person to actually vocalize it because you're trying to get kind of their state of mind. You're trying to figure out, hey, is this person going to lie to me or is this person going to be honest with me? A lot of times those questions are just to kind of feel that situation out.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Johnny, wake up, bub. All right, there's some medics here that can talk to you. What kind of drugs do you use, buddy? Johnny. All right. They'll get him perked up, and I'll get some info out of him.
A little bit of alcohol mixture too.
No, his eyes are pinpoint. So he was heroin or fentanyl. Yeah. Wake up, Johnny.
Give me a breath. Give me a breath.
There you go.
All right. Thank you.
Can you guys give them some space?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab him as soon as they can get him out.
Check your pockets. They found him laying in the grass over there. He's not now. Still.
What else? Oh, people, and I just saw like shout out to the bystanders. Ohio Patriot, thank you very much for the donation. I greatly appreciate that. You're always around as well. I love seeing your name pop up. So a couple of things, people talk about the bystanders. This is another one of those like great misconceptions about what happens in these neighborhoods. The drug addicts and the homeless people and the prostitutes and all that, they've all been in this guy's position many times, and somebody has had to save their life. They don't like seeing each other die, so they help each other out in these situations all the time. And it was one of those things where people were like, oh, it was the wrong side of town. Looks like it was the right side of town because people helped them. I'm like, for God's sake, people, I'm just trying to make a title that will make you click. And by the way, it did, because it almost has 1 million views. And I look at it like it's more important to get the message out than it is that other stuff. I don't clickbait my videos. I think I've done a couple, but it's exceptionally rare. And if I do, it's more of a joke. But I don't know. Yeah, this is very common.
Yeah.
Hey man, you gotta wake up, bud. What's your name? No, you're not alright. You're all doing. What's your name, bud?
Is Johnny.
That was the other thing. And the poor guy, he thinks he's pulling this off, but he's not. He's out of his mind. They're wearing these respirators because this was in the very early days of COVID, where nobody knew what was going on, how we were supposed to handle this. Everybody was terrified that if you came in contact with a COVID individual, you were going to die like 5 minutes later. That's what we all thought COVID was going to be. So the firefighters, they all have these like little half respirators, and they wore these. We did not.
I don't know his last name.
I love that thing, not damn Brian. Okay.
Johnny, wake up, bud.
Is that?
You're doing it that way?
Yeah, we've been pretty good luck.
Here we go. So you're going to get to see the intramuscular injection with Narcan on this one. And they actually take the same exact kit. They just screw a syringe on it and good to go.
All right, stay sitting up for me.
You're going that way, huh?
Is that?
You're doing it that way?
Yeah, we've been pretty good luck with
I've had
it.
better success with it, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it seems to kick in a little better. Stay sitting up, John.
Another thing people always ask me is, why do I blur things out? Artie's Corporate Fiction, this is the guy, I'm calling you out right now. You sent me an email a little while back, and you told me a little bit about yourself, and you said that you like to live stream and you'd like to do some kind of collaboration. I told you that I would like to do that, and you haven't written me back. I'm blaming this 100% on you, even though I haven't exactly reached out to you for a live stream collaboration or anything. I don't know that I know how to do that kind of thing, but yeah. But anyway, thanks for stopping by the stream. It's always cool to see someone who is like incredibly famous stop by my stream. But anyway, so the part where it was blurred out, people always ask me why I'm blurring out certain things. I am not blurring these things out. These are blurred out by the people who work in public records, who have to redact all sensitive information and stuff that's not supposed to be made public. The that stuff gets blurred out because there's something in the Ohio Public Records law about releasing medical information, and there was a complaint made that the video of them receiving a medical treatment was released to the public. So the solution was to blur out any time a medic did something. So blood pressure cuffs, injections, putting a bandage on somebody, these things are all blurred out now.
So you don't fit a vein or anything, you just do it right in the muscle?
Yeah, just like a shot.
Yeah, just like a shot.
What was the story? Was he just here passed out? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they found him in the grass.
Yeah.
Hey, boy, what's your last name, Johnny? What's your last name?
Hey, Johnny, somebody's asking you a question, bud.
Some of the takeaways from this video for me, as far as I'm concerned, is I like people to be able to see, they only gave him 1 dose of Narcan, see how long it takes him to be completely coherent, and then watch the way he responds to questioning when they're on the medic. Jethro, it's not HIPAA. Law enforcement personnel are not required to follow HIPAA. HIPAA protects you from your doctor releasing information, not me releasing your information. So if I knew you had a chronic hangnail problem and I'm just a regular Joe, I could tell everybody I know that you have a chronic hangnail problem. That would not be a HIPAA violation. If your doctor did that, it would be. So there's that. Mr. Flintlock, you're going to get a highlight. I appreciate it. I've stopped highlighting donations, but $50 is a big deal to me. Thank you very much. You've been in the chat super active. Thank you. So it says, to all the CPD officers out there, thank you. Thanks for all you do, Officer Ben, and also have a better story about women doing things that surprise you. Man, I can't control the stories I tell. I tell the stories that happen. So you're welcome. Artie, you're going to have to watch the beginning of the stream. I told a fabulous story.
Hey, thank you. It's a little ticklish. I got his armpit. Johnny, sit up. Thank you. What's your last name, Johnny? Focus. Look at me. Look at me, buddy. Hey, what's your last name? Okay. How you feeling?
Not too bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A little better than you did a minute ago?
What's the take? I didn't take much of anything. What are you doing? Heroin? Let's see. I got a drink at downtown and brought home. That was about it. Yeah. And then anything? Use any street drugs at all? Street drugs? Street drugs? No, other than cannabis. Have you ever used heroin or anything else? Ever? Yes. Have you ever? I have not used street drugs in 8 months. 8 months? Yeah. What do you usually use? Usually I'm an opiate addict, heroin. Yeah. Heroin? Okay. Yes, sir. Use some heroin tonight? I did not, no. Because you're passing out over there tonight. Oh, yeah.
I'm somewhat sleep deprived. I just went. I had worked all the day at the farm for my parents, and just went for an evening cruise. I was going to meet up with a friend of mine, and here we are, I guess.
Well, here's the thing, man. We're getting some dark, Dan, so you're waking up a lot more now.
Okay.
That's okay or something.
Interesting.
We just want to make sure you're okay, man.
Sure thing.
Hey, Johnny. Hey, we'll do over here. We'll get your vitals and stuff, okay?
Sure.
Make sure you're all right. For us?
I definitely am.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I like to show people. I should have done like a timestamp, but they hit him with that. He's 100% confident, standing up. And the sad thing about him is that he said he was clean for like 8 months prior to this. The reason he's lying so much is because he's feeling really guilty about what he did. It's very understandable, but it's also very clear that he was lying. It's just unfortunate. I don't enjoy watching this one back, to be honest with you. I generally felt really bad for this guy. The video goes on. He gets on the medic, and there he is, blurred out because he has a blood pressure cuff on. And we had his helmet and his keys to his bike. He's definitely in no condition to ride his bike. Didn't have his phone or his wallet any longer. Those things must have come up missing when he was laying on the ground unconscious in the hood. So we had to make sure that he got to a safe location. That safe location was an emergency room, because the officer was able to, this officer called a lot of people for him. Called his sister, called his sister's boyfriend, I think, and eventually got a hold of his mom. His mom was terrified, didn't know where he was. She was just happy to find out that he was safe. She was given directions on how to get to the hospital where he was going to be. She agreed to come pick him up. I don't know if it was in the video or not, but they did find his motorcycle, and the location of the motorcycle was written down and handed to him so that he could maybe come back and find it the next day. And that was a story of, we'll call him Johnny, even though that wasn't his real name. I think he did eventually say his name later on. You know what? I wonder if I should do this. Is this the part where 192 to your list?
You awake back there? Think she?
Oh.
Oh, here we go. This is talking to mom.
Okay. I could call them and I could take you somewhere you can wait for them to come pick you up. Okay. What's that number? What's their names? Okay.
Hello?
Hi, is this Gina?
Yes,
Hey, this is Officer with Columbus Police. How are you?
I'm fine. I've been wondering where my son is.
Well, I have him with me and he's fine.
That is good to know.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have his phone or anything anymore. So I'm making some phone calls for him. Would you guys be able to come into Columbus and pick him up?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know anything about the West Side?
A little.
Okay. Do you know where Mount Carmel West ER is?
Mount Carmel West ER.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be like 70 into downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And then is it like Broad Street?
Yeah, it would be like Broad and Green, and you go south. And they have like a standalone ER. There's signs directing you in once you get close
to the Mount Carmel ER.
Think he gets dropped off in the video. Nope.
Thank you, officer.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm on my way.
Okay, take care.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Bye.
Do we get to see the thunder?
All right, that works out.
Oh, I must not have put that in my videos back then. When did I publish this? December of 2020. Started making videos in July of 2020. Yeah, so I didn't have like an outro, or I was a little bit more forgetful. I have a process now when I edit. I throw everything in the folder, and I don't know. You guys don't care about that, but I this stuff kind of is interesting to me. Let's see. There was a couple questions. Have I ever gotten recognized? Oh, there's a donation from Ohio Patriot. He says, it breaks my heart seeing people OD on heroin. My old best friend OD'd years ago. Thank God I was able to recognize it and get him to the hospital in time to save him. I'm not going to read that last line because I don't like that kind of stuff. I'm a regular guy that is moderately good at what I do. I'm doing what I was meant to be doing, which makes me good at it or better at it. I'm just doing what I was meant to do, if that makes sense. So that's going to be it. Hey, stop with the sensitive crap. I'm just trying to look engaged on camera and comfortable because I get uncomfortable sitting here. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, this video. I'm going to give you guys a little.
This is Michael.
A little teaser. Michael is going to be on the channel again on Friday. And unfortunately, Michael is not doing as well next time we see him. It was about a week and a half after this video was recorded. So that's going to be an interesting one. This one just happened to pop up. Yeah, the 2-year anniversary, somebody mentioned it to me. I don't know if I got an email or if it was in Discord or a Facebook message or an Instagram message. I can't remember. The 2-year anniversary just kind of popped up on me. I wasn't expecting it. I wish I would have been expecting it because I would have made like a highlight reel or something like that. Even though I did know about it like 2 weeks ago, I still haven't put anything together, and I think it might be too late. If I do a 2-year special, it might be one of those where it goes on the body camera channel, but I'm actually talking with my face on camera. Just kind of sharing my thoughts. I haven't decided if I'm going to do anything, but if I do, it might be something like that. I'm not sure, but it is pretty exciting. I can't believe I've been doing this for 2 years. It's taken up a lot of my personal life. So, but I really enjoy it. And I think I've done something really good for the community and for the police officers. I think I'm having an impact on public opinion, which is a big deal to me. What else is there? I think we're going to, somebody suggested this. I think it was Doc M. Like 5 minutes for final thoughts and questions at the end. I think they said 10 minutes, but I want to be done before 9 because that way I can go upstairs, take my Advil PM, have a little bit more whiskey with my wife, and we're going to, let's see, last week we were watching The Terminal List, which we finished, and my, what's the word I'm looking for? My review of the series is that the content was excellent. The story was really good. It was fun. It was exciting. It was not predictable. The storyline was great. The special effects were really good. The technical aspects of everything was really good, like the weaponry and all that stuff. The acting, if you ask me, was a little bit subpar, but not to a point that it was distracting. So the Terminal List, I'm going to say it gives me 2 thumbs up for the Terminal List. Even with the acting, like I thought, what's his name as a SEAL was a little bit hard to believe. But also I'm a very critical military guy, so I like the show. But tonight we're watching Stranger Things. We haven't finished that yet, so I'm hoping to get up. I think we have 2 more episodes of Stranger Things, which is a little bit frustrating because the episodes are like an hour and a half at this point, and my bedtime is 10 p.m. So I'm going to have to stay up a little bit past my normal bedtime to watch Stranger Things, but that's my goal tonight. So a couple more minutes. What is the H word? I don't know. I opened this up for questions and I got a question that I don't understand. Let's see, I get that you don't like, the H word. I should have read. Well, I appreciate that. You guys, you can have your opinions. I can have mine. We're going to leave it at that. Please give your thoughts on the killed. Um, please give us your thoughts on the kids that killed the old man in Chicago. I briefly saw something about that on is it the Castro guy that does the oil paintings? I didn't get a chance to read the entire caption. I need to go back to that. One thing I might do, you guys can tell me if I'm stupid. I was thinking about using, is it Johnny Castro that does the oil paintings of the officers and the people who were killed? I might do a video weekly if I have time, where I will just take those images and basically make like a slideshow, and the write-up that he puts underneath, I read it in my voice. So it would be my voice and his art, like a 5-minute video or something like that once a week, kind of in remembrance of the people who we've lost that week. I thought that might be something kind of cool to do. So I don't know. I don't have thoughts on it. That's my my thought. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at this. Let's see. I never knew people I found this channel. That is a big deal to me. I like people really do have no idea, and it's frustrating as an officer hearing all of the criticisms and stuff, and it's like people are saying things that are just so false, or they just don't have a clue what they're talking about. That's one of the other things I like showing the stuff that I show. I would agree with that. People need a purpose other than using drugs. That's oversimplifying, but yeah. Let's see. Live PD. You guys are talking about stuff. Okay. Live PD is coming back. That was another reason that I started this channel, was all the BS and stuff that happened in 2020. Cops getting canceled, Live PD getting canceled. That really frustrated me. I'm not the type of person that will back down from anything. If there's a fight worth fighting, I'll often interject myself, and that's what I did here. So it's kind of cool to see Live PD coming back. The producers of that show have actually contacted me many times asking for some of my footage, which I provided to them. They had like a web show. It was like a subscription based thing. I've never watched it, but I know that they used some of my footage. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. Did you hear about the Columbus? Yeah, I'm well aware of that. It's been in the media, it's been in the news a lot, and I was gonna do a video on it, but it's been out there so much. I just didn't want. I don't know. I didn't think I had anything to add. There was an ATF agent arrested in Columbus. There was a lot of rumors and speculation about some things that I wasn't able to verify, which kind of killed my reasoning for wanting to make that video. The only thing that I will say is that we're trained that if we're in plain clothes and armed and we're approached by police officers, we're trained to respond in a certain way. Basically, the uniformed patrol officers are in charge. And that's how police officers are taught, which kind of makes me laugh because people are like, oh, if you comply, you won't die. That's like the cliche thing that's being told. But even if I'm working plain clothes, what happened was there was an ATF agent knocking on someone's door, trying to confiscate their weapons or something. And the homeowner called in and said that they didn't believe this person was an actual federal agent, and they wanted the police to come. This is a legitimate call because houses do, aggravated burglaries, armed home invasions do happen with police impersonators. So police officers showed up, started holding the ATF agent at gunpoint, screaming at him. What I will say is that the officer who responded got a little too excited. He needs to find a way to calm himself down. That would have alleviated a lot of the problems in this situation. The ATF agent was also a moron. It was an unfortunate thing that happened with a bunch of people that weren't doing things perfectly. Those are my thoughts on that. What do you think about humanizing the badge as an organization? I mean, I get it. I think that it's cool that they're doing it, and I know why. My approach is just to be authentic isn't the right word, but like I don't sugarcoat things. I don't pretend to do things. I don't do things to try to get attention. I'm just showing you literally who I am and what I do. It's slightly different than their approach, but as an organization, I think that they do some really good work as far as humanizing the badge. So there's that. I don't want to be part of that. They do something, they do it well. I do my thing over here. I'm not going to be like Mike the Cop and Officer Daniels and all these guys that do these community events and they go dancing and they throw water balloons at each other and ride tricycles. Just not who I am. So I'm going to do me. That's it. Not criticizing what they do at all. See, I'm back headed to something. 5 on patrol is fine. That's a good question. Before I started doing YouTube, I was quite the gamer. I would even say that after I started doing YouTube, I was still quite the gamer because I only had one channel. So I would take my 2 days off. And during COVID, I actually had 3 days off a week because we had one day where we had to be available and we were supposed to like do our online training and stuff like that. But I still had free time. So I would spend a day or two making YouTube videos. And then the third day, I would literally play Xbox all night long because I was still working nights. So my family was asleep. I was playing Xbox. I really miss those days. But I really enjoy doing this. So I guess I had to grow up a little bit, even though I don't think you have to. I think you can still play video games and be a grown up, but it's a lot harder on day shift. At night, it was easy. So I do miss my friends. I had a lot of friends I played Xbox with. We still talk, but we don't get to like hang out for like 4 hours and play Xbox. So it is what it is. Yeah, there will never be an Officer Ben TikTok unless it's by somebody else. Let's see. Are we getting close? Yeah, I'm a police officer. I'm very much a police officer, like a real police officer. I interjected myself into some ignorant Instagram fight a little while back. I was thinking about doing a video about it, but I don't know if I will. There was a guy who shot and killed 2 people, kidnapped a baby that was only a couple months old, led officers on a pursuit, fired at the officers multiple times during the pursuit. Finally, they spiked his car. He got out of the car shooting at the officers. They returned fire. Unfortunately, they killed a child. And people started saying that a bunch of cops just killed a baby for no reason. That was the Instagram post. So I started commenting on it. And people were saying, well, you're just a patrol officer. You don't know anything about police work. That was stupid. Those people are dumbasses. I was thinking about doing a video on that topic, but I don't know that if I will or not. It's just sometimes you start recording things, it doesn't come out the way you want, and it's just hard to, I don't know. And I have a lot of topics. I don't know. Anyway, there's the answer to your question. Have you seen Ronald? I don't remember who Ronald is. Sorry. Ooh, is there a Ryan M that I'm missing? Oh, yeah. You know what? I played Red Dead for a little while, but I didn't actually super get into it. I like playing multiplayer games that aren't super competitive. I like playing cooperative multiplayer games because that way I can just kind of chill out with my friends, play like a game that's not competitive against each other. So it's not like super sweaty. Just good times. You know what I mean? Jeff, it's 9 p.m. It's time to go. You're right. I'm just trying to get through the last couple. If your question isn't in now, it's going to be too late. Oh, sweet. There's no more questions pending for me. No, the general public do. I don't know. I think I've done it. Did I do a good stream today? Is this more gooder than streams of the other days? I think that the story I opened with was absolutely fire. I was very happy with that story. I did not intend to tell that story, but it happened. I enjoy telling stories like that. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Let's see. Oh, that guy. You're lucky you snuck it in. Ronald, I have not seen. We talk in police work about how there's first shift problems, second shift problems, and third shift problems. When we say names to each other, like I might go to, when I was on third shift, I might go to a first shift guy and be like, hey, do you know Ronald? He lives up at 58 North whatever street. And they'd be like, no, I don't know Ronald. And a lot of times the response would be, well, he must be a third shift guy. There's different people that are awake during certain hours, just like police officers. And Ronald was a third shift person. Haven't seen him. Don't even know how to go about finding him. I don't know if I actually ever took a report with his full name on it. I would be interested in seeing him though. He and I had some good times. Yeah. Anyway, there's the answer to that question. Thanks for asking. Thanks for bringing him back up. He's one of my favorite people that's ever been on the channel. Yeah, I like that guy. So, Spencer, I missed your question. I will wait. I will sit here patiently and wait for you to ask your question again. I will answer it. But Spencer Hurley gets the last question of the live stream. This is riveting. Just sitting here waiting because there's a lag between the chat and what I say. I think it's like a minute and a half. It's very awkward waiting for Spencer to re-ask his question because I don't want to have to scroll up and find it. Because by scrolling, something else will happen and I'll lose my spot. So I'm just sitting here patiently waiting for Spencer to re-ask his question. I mean, I could go on Discord and send him a private message and ask him, what was your question? Come on, man. I'm getting tired. It's 9:04. Giving you guys this is riveting live stream. Spencer, I want to thank you for making the end of the live stream so riveting. All because of the stream delay. Oh, drive along. Is that a question? I don't like, oh, well, I can't do them at work. If you're talking about like recording while I'm at work, I can't do that. I don't know. Send me a message with a little bit more clearly, what exactly you're getting at, and I'll answer that to you personally. So I hear my wife walking around upstairs. I'm gonna go up and see her. Oh, Spence, I missed your first question, but I really have to go. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you very much everybody that contributed financially. For the ones that do not feel guilty. I swear with everything in me that you just being here, watching the live stream and commenting has an impact on the channel, and it helps me out a lot. So when this is over, the live stream should be available for replay. Go give it a like, drop a comment. That will be fantastic help. As for that, I'm out of here. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you guys next week.